All right, it's on there live. You ready to get started?
Yes, sir. Yes, I am. I guess we
All
could have
right,
talked this ahead of time, but we didn't.
I'm gonna do marker, time, and then you hear music. 9:49 on the clock. Marker, time.
This is R. Morton Mon.
And I am Charles McFall, and we are all about bigger, badder, better, more.
Bigger, badder, better, more. We're here to help others be awesome.
And you've landed on the comedic motivational show, Success Freaks.
Welcome everyone to the #1 mustard seed comedic motivational show, otherwise known as Success Freaks. Today's working title is episode 167, All Things Great and Small. And today we're coming at you semi-live from Roseville, Minnesota, and the Bears Den in Monticello, Georgia. In that Bears Den, the dark side of positive. My cohort, my friend, my buddy, my pal, Charles McFall. The ever silent, the ever quiet.
As I wave at the camera just to be ornery a little bit. Ornery this morning. So yeah. So what are we talking about today? We didn't even talk before the show we're doing.
Yeah, we didn't say
set
anything to
up.
each other. We're just gonna be shooting from the hip. We were dealing with some technical difficulties a little bit. Thank you, Google Plus, for that. We really appreciate it, and the fact that I'm still wrestling with my learning how to do my soundboard again. And, I'm getting there, but I should have set it up ahead of time. Blah blah blah. With the title "All Things Great and Small" it actually comes from the idea of it comes from a book, "All Creatures Great and Small" by James Herriot. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, but it was just I done my quotes and affirmations. I do that, most every day, and I did one the other day, and it was a quote from Napoleon Hill: "If you cannot do great things, do small things in a great way." And then my affirmation was, "It is by each small step that I am creating great things in my life and the lives of others." And it's like it's something that we're learning how to do in Success Freaks in our own personal lives. It's just that every little bit, there's that book, "Don't Sweat the Small Stuff." And actually, it's from two different authors I found out at different times. Don't sweat the small stuff. But the small stuff counts as far as when you're trying to move forward in your life. You're trying to affect a change in your life. Bit by bit, step by step. Slowly I turned. And until you get to there. Charles is just smirking, going, "He's going to let me talk? He's going to let me
No.
talk?"
I'm not thinking that at all. I'm laughing at the way you're presenting the titles. It works, so you're
It
amusing
all,
me.
it all adds up. And so whatever those little things that you do, it's just like, well, you're looking at the big picture and you're going, well, I want to become this great thing. I want to do this great thing, and it's so huge. All those things are accomplished by single steps, bit by bit, small steps. So that's what we're kind of talking about today.
Cool. I like taking the flip side of things, and that makes it easier here. Is sometimes you sweat the small stuff, and you worry about the details, and you don't be dismissive, and so it's going to be an interesting show. What is it that has led you to talking about this today?
Well, and I think that you're misunderstanding me. I'm just, using that title
Are
as
you
an
speaking
example.
English? Because I heard you.
You don't.
You know, I gotta mess with you.
Yo no hablo inglés. Necesito practicar mi español más. Necesito hablo en español,
I
por favor.
apologize for
No
everyone who does
hablo.
not understand that. I don't understand him most of the time. Just this time it is another language.
That's okay. I've only got 2 or 3 phrases that I can whip out. The rest of them start talking to me, and I'm like, I don't know what you're saying. Anyways, it's not about not sweating the small. It's the small stuff. The small stuff is important, is what I'm saying. It's those minute steps. Everybody accomplishes great things by taking those minute steps, and that's what I'm talking about.
So I could say, don't worry about it. The bigger picture fits, and everything will get you there in the end.
Right?
I'll find a way to flip this.
Well,
Sir.
go ahead with that. What do you mean by that?
Well, one, I just mean I'm ornery. My coffee is empty, and I'm ornery this morning. That's what I mean. And you have yours in your Success Freaks mug. Thank you.
No, this is water. Unfortunately, this is water.
Oh. That's what we call really weak coffee around here.
We got it. So I mean, it was step by step that you started doing podcasting. It was step by step that I started doing Mordant World, and then we put together Success Freaks. It's step by step that we're moving forward towards great things. So I guess what this is all about is if you're beginning a new endeavor, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Success Freaks listeners, if you're beginning a new endeavor out there, and you're looking at the huge picture and you're just like, how do we put this together? It's step by step, small steps, and you are going to create great things. That's how you do it. That's how we do it. It's how the really big muckety mucks do it. Do it. Do it. What was the quote that I found today by William Wordsworth? To begin, begin. Start. You know, and there's that whole...
Hit start on your controller. That's how you begin in our generation, or at least in mine, Grandpa. Sorry. You know, that's the thing is, but you do have to have a bigger picture. But what's interesting is, in the lead up to all this, is you're referring to the book, Don't Sweat the Small Stuff, or the 2 books, or whatever it was. Somebody didn't sweat the small details like title of a book, so they wrote it twice.
Well, it was like one book was Don't Sweat the Small Stuff, and it's all small stuff, simple ways to keep the little things from taking over your life. However, years before, this other guy, that was Richard Carlson. Michael R. Mantell wrote Don't Sweat the Small Stuff, P.S. It's all small stuff. And it talks about in an article about him how he discovered that this other book with his title, and he was always excited, my book's out again, was somebody else's name. So he decided not to sweat the small stuff, and then I don't know what he did after that. But there's 2 books out there.
You know, that's a conversation for another show, but that definitely seems like there's more legal issues there than anything else. But you do have to have a bigger picture. I've been accused of putting the cart before the horse more than once. And that's the thing is I always have this eye on the bigger picture, and I try to take the smaller steps, and I don't always know what I'm doing, to be honest. I was told last Tuesday, actually, on my other show, right before it, one of my partners there was laughing, because I can't remember what I said, but it got done, whatever it was. Like, yeah, okay, it just popped up. And the guy was laughing, he goes, and I always share my inner dialogue on that show because it's funny. It's like I used to do on the Bear Calling Nation, just kind of throw the weirdness out that I have in my head, and it makes people laugh. Because I can imagine with the things you share in your head, if a camera would just follow you around, the crazy reality show you could have, because in a good way, I just got a picture of you as a guy who accomplishes a lot and looks around and goes, how did I get here? I said, well, you know, sometimes that's true. Sometimes I go, I'm 5 levels up, and I'm not exactly sure what I did, but let's keep going. We'll just keep on doing it. You know, it reminds me of something I posted on Facebook yesterday on my page and on House of the Bear, if you'd like to follow all of my adventures and excitement out there.
Nice plug. Nice plug.
Thank you. Thank you. But, you know, Success Freaks has Success Freak stuff. My other show, From the Helicarrier, has game stuff. So I made a page that does everything. That has all my shows. It has my adventures, like when I get a Dragon Con, those kind of things. That's House of the Bear on Facebook. I posted there that my 3-year-old, he's almost 3, he's not quite 3, he has unarguable logic. I forget exactly the word I used. It wasn't infallible, maybe. But anyway, you can't argue with his logic. Anytime he says something, you ask him why, or he's doing something, you ask him why, his answer is, because yes! And I'm like, well, that's not an answer. That's just yes. Why are you doing it? The other day he called me a jerk. I'm like, why am I a jerk? Because yes. And that's just him. That's unless he doesn't want to do it. It's like, why don't you want to do it? Because no. That's his answer. But typically it's just his passion and conviction, and it's just an interesting way. It makes me laugh every time, and as a success freak, had this been my first kid, they'd been arguing and teaching, and I'm learning how to be a better dad. Now, as a success freak, and I've had 3 other kids before, well, 2 other kids before him, but I have 4 kids now. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. I'm sitting back going, you know what? I'm not going to mess with that mindset. Let's see what he does with this in life.
Because yes.
Because yes. You know, what can you argue with that?
And sometimes, a lot of times with success freaks, now it doesn't always work out. You should definitely do your due diligence, and we found that out. But a lot of things happen because we jump in. Because yes. You know, we did put on a conference because yes. We went live because yes. We changed our format because yes. You know, we're on WGNC 1450 because yes. So a lot of the stuff that we've done successfully, it's because yes, I went on the road and eventually created this Tortuga Twins act because when Ron Bauman said, "Hey, you should do this on the road. You should come out here on the road with me," because yes, I did it. You know, it doesn't mean I wasn't scared. It doesn't mean I wasn't nervous. I didn't know exactly what I was doing, but you know, that's that whole ready, fire, aim. But that's the thing, because yes.
Absolutely. And we're going to ask you something, and because, yes, you're going to go do it, go to successfreaks.com and check out all of our shows. You can get everything there. We're going to have more coming up next.
You know I'm dancing? You know I was dancing?
Why?
Because I looked at the time. Yep. I was like, yep, here we go, perfect wind down.
Yeah, that worked. All right, where are my notes? Did you do the Napoleon Hill quote?
Yeah, I gave the if you cannot do great things, do small things in a great way.
Okay.
I gave that. I gave Wadsworth. I think I gave everything.
You definitely gave Wadsworth. I remember that
Wordsworth. I did not do. I did not talk about James Herriot suffering from depression. I did not talk about One Day at a Time. So those are the two that I haven't hit. But the depression thing was an interesting thing. What would you like to discuss, sir? You and me back and forth on this.
I don't know. Throw it out and let's pick one of those, and we'll go with it. See which one grabs your nuts more.
All right. Because yes.
Marker. I'm going to do marker time. All right. Marker time.
Welcome back, everybody, to Success Freaks. We are talking about all things great and small, creating those great things from all the small things. And it does not matter what limitations you have. It doesn't, and a lot of those limitations are self-imposed. You know, oh, I can't do this because I don't know what I'm doing. Blah blah blah. Whatever lie you tell yourself. I know mine. Charles knows his. But sometimes you have actual limitations. And we talked about the book All Things Great and Small by James Herriot. And what you don't know is you find out later on that I found an article, James Herriot's Private Hell: The Shocking Truth. Basically, he suffered from depression. And that seems to be a running theme lately. With a lot of people, whether they're celebrities or people who are successful and then have a rough time of it afterwards or take a downward turn. A friend of mine passed recently, and he was dealing with depression, and I don't know if it was linked to the medication or anything like that. Yada, yada, yada. But you may have your own limitations. You may be suffering from whatever malady you may be suffering from, and you can choose not to be a victim of that. You can choose one step at a time, one day at a time, to create greatness out of those, out of those small steps of dealing with it courageously. Doesn't mean it's going to be easy. Doesn't mean it's not going to be scary. Doesn't mean you're not going to be faced with challenges. But it's up to you what kind of life you're going to have. What do you think?
Here's a question for you that popped in my mind. You're talking about, and people do use certain phrases when it comes to depression. There's dealing with, there's suffering from. I think those are the two main ones, and those are two major ways of doing something. But you talked about the fight, and it popped into my head. How do you choose to fight, especially when you're dealing with depression? And a lot of people don't know they're dealing with some form of it. Some think they're just bored or sad, and that could be. You could just be unchallenged in life. And there is a medical description of depression that we haven't gone into. I don't know if we will. I'm not sure if we'll go there. But more than, how do you choose to fight when you don't have fight left in you? Which is kind of what depression is.
Right. Well, that goes back to another question: who motivates the motivator? No, you were fine. we're both messing with our screens. I'm like, he's on that side, I'm going to be on this side. And then we look like we're talking to each other. It's kind of cool. Now I just have to turn my face like this, and then I think, so here's what I think.
Thank you, radio listeners, for playing the home game.
Who motivates the motivator? It's like, what do you do when you've given all you got? Well, then you need to go out and find something else. If something's not working for you, it doesn't mean it can't be done. It'd be like us saying, "Hey, look, we're not syndicated on all these shows, and yet we've done everything great. We only have this many listeners, so obviously we're not. Obviously, this can't be done." No, it just means that we're not doing something. There's more to learn, and it is up to you. Again, I said you make the choice not to be a victim.
Right.
It's a choice not to be a victim of your situation, and they may be horrible difficulties you have to face, but it's your choice. Are you going to, as we talked about in another show, lean in? Are you going to find, grow stronger? What was that in the 13th Warrior? The one guy handed Antonio Banderas' character a huge sword. He's like, this is too heavy. I can't lift it. And the other guy's response was, grow stronger. And that's so true. How can I deal with all these things? How can I level up and become greater at one of it? Grow stronger.
Well, and I think if we're addressing somebody in the middle of it and they're asking these questions, and you're not strong enough, you're behind 8 ball. That does not mean that you can't get started, that you can't grow stronger. It does mean that you're going to have a much more difficult time of it. I was thinking back to last year when I lost my job, and we went through a whole lot of different things, and we talked about some of this then of Who Motivates the Motivator. There was times where I just didn't feel like doing anything. I was so overwhelmed by life. And jumping to my question now, how do you choose to fight when you don't have fight left in you? It's how you train. You're talking about grow stronger, Mordant. You're talking about that. It's how you train before it happens. What kept me going through all that, what kept me still giving to others when I had nothing to give, it kept me putting things out there and just trusting it was coming back, is because I did that for a long time. I don't know how long, but I did that for a very long time before I needed it to keep me going. And that's the key. If you go through life ignoring the small stuff, if you go through life just happy as can be, I'm going to do what society tells me to, I'm going to go to high school, then go to college, and I'm going to get a job, and I'm going to do whatever societal norms say I should do, instead of actually figuring out what I want, you'll end up with a degree or a wife or a husband or a life that you don't recognize. And maybe then you're in depression and you don't know how to deal with it. So you have to pay attention to the small. You have to make choices. When Mordant says you could choose to grow stronger, that's absolutely true. And I'm going to throw this back to him. When you're in the middle struggling with something, Mordant, when you're down, I know you have people you call. You have coaches. You call me sometimes. You have a circle that you reach out to. But what you said about you could choose to be the victim, a lot of people don't understand. That's just the way you look at yourself. If you're underneath the pressure, how you look at yourself is how you do everything in that situation. If you look at yourself as, why did this happen to me again? We've talked about this on other shows. Then that's all you're going to be. But if you look at yourself as, okay, what's the little thing I can deal with right now? We have a friend of ours who has a ton of extra kids put on him and a lot of stress, and he's just dealing with the things he can change. That's an Alcoholics Anonymous thing. Mordant, I've thrown out about 50,000 points. I'm sure you've got one you can run with.
Well, one of the things is, we're talking about the small stuff, and we really mean the small steps, and if you're in the middle of it, find a way to take a step. Find a way to take a breath. For one thing, just relax. There have been years where my finances have been not the greatest, and I was like, there was too much money and not enough money, and I'm like, how am I going to deal with any of this? How am I going to, I've got bills coming in. I've spent most of my money is earmarked for other stuff already. How am I going to deal with this? And there were been nights where I could not go to sleep, and at 3 in the morning I got up and go, okay, let me figure out what my bills are and what my family. This is before I set this system up, where I know what's coming, I've got money set aside, yada, yada, yada. But what I did was I had to look at the big ugly that was my financial situation, and I did that. I took a step. I took a breath, and then I took a step. It could be that you want to get rid of your credit card debt, and you have $30,000 in credit card debt. That's not unheard of, $50,000. Some people, $16,000 is so much. You take a step. You pay a bill. You pay a little more. It's like it's not. It's like I'm throwing a rock at a tidal wave. Yes, but you're building a dam, little step by little step, rock by rock. If you're in the middle of it and you're just like, it's so overwhelming, take a breath and take a step, whatever that may be.
Yeah. As we come down to the segment here, I want to throw out Dave Ramsey, who does a lot of financial motivation and coaching, and I've taught his class before. Both Mordant and I have gone through it. We've had shows about it. His system for finances is pay attention, take the little step. There's a lot more to it, but I want to line it up to life. is Dave Ramsey's Financial Peace University. I found using those steps, the basic steps of writing things down on paper, really getting a good, hard, honest look at what's going on, helps you make those decisions and gets you through. So that's something that you could look at doing is always, is it a tidal wave, or is it just you're in the wading pool and didn't realize somebody's throwing water on you? There's that. So we've got a lot more to talk about on this subject. We have a lot more to bring home to you. So check us out on Facebook, facebook.com/Success Freaks to get more information about what we do and who we are. And come back, we've got some more next. Okay. All right, so we're going back to 9:59.
Yeah. Stop. Reset. Do you have a question?
Yes.
You do. Oh, there it is. Yeah, you can go pee. Do you need to go, really?
No, do I have a question? No. All right, so yeah, I can read this and we can go on with it.
All right, hey, give me a second. All right, I'll bring us in. I'm going to add something to it. So, and then you'll ask your question.
Okay.
Right? Say when, you know.
All right, marker time, just a second. All right, it's 9:59 on the clock. Marker time.
Welcome back to Success Freaks. Today we are talking about all things great and small and how you move beyond into achieving something or dealing with something or whatnot. In the last segment, I gave an analogy of Antonio Banderas in The 13th Warrior, the whole get stronger. Well, my girlfriend Christy was just listening. She came back and said, hey, you realize that instead what he did was he went to the blacksmith and he had a sword modified that would more suiting to him, that he would be able to use to the best of his ability and talents. So what he did was he didn't actually just grow stronger, he grew smarter. So that's something too. You know, maybe you need to level up and grow stronger in whatever way it is, but also it's about doing things smarter. If something's not working for you, find another way of doing it, and that may be your small step. So, Charles, go ahead.
This is a section where we have a listener question. So, you know, this comes from Bobby G, and it says, don't sweat the small stuff. Question, you know, do I sweat the small stuff? Whatever. Is this good advice to give people who are really bothered by something? People have told me this pertaining to issues I don't consider to be small stuff. I feel more like they think of me as small stuff and not the issue at hand, because it's not small stuff when it happens to them. I personally don't like the saying, and I don't think it's ever appropriate. I feel the same way about get a grip, which implies that I'm being unreasonable and crazy. Again, rendered insignificant. Do you consider it rude?
Me personally, no, I don't, and I don't know what this person is dealing with. What it sounds like, let's take them at their word. Let's take them at face value. It sounds like somebody is just, you know, this person is dealing with something that's very, very difficult to them, and the people surrounding them are not giving credence to their feelings, and whatever there's deal. Oh, that's nothing. That's no big deal. Well, to them, it's a big deal. It's like talking to a teenager and say, you don't know what it is being in love, when actually what's happening is physiologically, the emotions are so strong. They are really in it much more than other people. So to be able to tell this person, oh, don't sweat it, it's not a big deal, get a grip, you know, even if they've been dealing it for a long time, it just sounds like the people surrounding them are tired of this person and tired of them having to deal with it, et cetera, and not really listening to how difficult things may be for this person.
Sometimes they don't listen, you know.
Yeah.
It's not just because the picture I get when you start talking that way is that person who always has a problem. It's like, again, and they dismiss them finally. Whereas that could be true, and I'm not saying you're saying that, but that's the picture I get when I hear you talking. The other thing could easily be that they don't care about your life. They don't care about your problem. You're around people who don't get it. Maybe they're scared that you're dealing with a problem that they don't want to deal with, or they have their own things that they're not sharing. Is it rude? Yeah, it's rude. It's dismissive. It's crap. More than I've heard you use the phrase "put your big girl panties on." That can be very, very dismissive. It's one thing to have a very clean, and by clean I mean not in the middle of a conversation dealing with an exact problem. It's one thing to have a very clean radio show where we're giving overall advice. Yes, get stronger. But honestly, Morton, if I came to you and said, "Man, I can't get a house for my family. I can't afford things. I can't do whatever it is that would be big to me." And of course, that'd be big to anybody. I can't think of a small problem right now. My Xbox won't work. Morton, my Xbox is dead, and I can't play my Borderlands. And you told me, and it was if it was a real thing to me, or maybe it's an issue that's tapping into other things I'm stressing about that I'm not talking about. And you just told me to put my big girl panties on. I might not ever talk to you again because at the time, the surface issue is not the real issue. So that is to answer the question. Don't sweat the small stuff. Are you listening for actual answers and you're ignoring them? Or this to be the situation where I have a problem, but I really am looking for one response, like, "Oh, poor pitiful you," and I keep asking people until I get that, and they're telling me, "Well, quit sweating the small stuff." So what? Buy a new pair of tennis shoes for $20. It's fine. Or is it something bigger? How are you putting out to receive?
Yeah, you're not living this life. Now that we've taken this person at face value. Now let's take it another way.
Okay.
Now let's get in this. You're not put on this in this life and in this world to cling to whatever your problems are, to remain a victim of your problem. If that's all you're doing, if your conversation begins with, "Hey, this is what I'm going through today, and this is how," don't ever begin a conversation, or at the very least, with me. Don't ever begin a conversation with, "Hi, this is how my life sucks."
So I totally started the next segment that way, just so your listeners know.
I've stopped talking to people and asking them as, "Hey, how you doing?" I've stopped that. I've stopped asking, "How are you doing?" Because suddenly it's this litany of, "Well, this has gone wrong, and this is my pain," and it's usually with that same person or persons. The same thing over and over and over. It's a new hurt, it's a new ailment, it's a new whatever. You do need to, on some level, learn to rise above. Get a grip. Don't sweat the small stuff, especially if it is small stuff. Now, you may be in the thick of everything, but if you wear this thing like a mantle, then that's who you are. If you are your pain, that's who you are, and I'm going to shy away from you because you may be dealing with something on a positive level. You may be like, "Hey, look, I'm dealing with this right now, but it's helping me grow." And then we can have a conversation about what you're dealing with and how it's helping you grow. But if you're just like, "This is how my life sucks," and you're looking for the pity party, and you've done that for a while, then you do need to get a grip. You do need to grow beyond, because that's not what your life should be. It's certainly not what my life is going to be. And I catch myself doing it too. Don't get me wrong. There ain't no perfect people here. We're just awesome. So I am learning. And Charles has called me out on it. He's like, what are you saying? Don't talk about what you don't want.
Yeah.
He called me out on the air, and I've learned to go. You'll hear me go, and so I just don't want. What I want is this.
Yeah.
So it's a process. So yeah, it is rude, but dude, come on, put on your big girl panties and let's go.
So I see definitely two issues here. We most as humans we react to what we're not dealing with. So at the times more that we're gonna get into this on beyond, but at the times when you get passionate about this, you're almost angry. It's because maybe there's something, like you said, I've called you out before, you've called me out, those kind of things. But the other thing is maybe he's being denied that moment of letting it be a big thing. We've said that many, many times on the air here. You can reel from your punches. You get to have your pity party for a moment, and maybe he's not being allowed. This is for the people who aren't being allowed to reel from the punches, as my partner reels in the back of his chair, almost falling over. I am watching your camera, sir, even though the people at home are not. So he puts a line here. Bobby puts a line here. It says, which implies that I am being unreasonable and crazy. I remember there were times when I would be so angry and upset about things, and my wife, I don't know if it was what I needed to hear or if she was just denying me a moment or what the motivations were, but I would remember because she got the brunt of it. So maybe sometimes she's just tired of it. But all my life I was never allowed to be. I always was. People tried to force me into other things. And in my own house, after we were married, and I'm just raging or getting angry and angrier. And really, as I look back, what I wanted somebody to say was, no, you're right. It's okay to be angry. It's okay to be angry right now, but that's not helping. And that's what I needed. And ultimately, I got that somewhere and dealt with it and calmed down and can deal with things now. But what I got from her was, you're such a drama queen. And finally, I went with some choice language, said, yes, I am, because I feel like it's dramatic right now, and I'm going to be that way. And once I finally accepted, said, I don't care what the world says. I get to have my moment. And I had to come to that on my own. That's when I started getting different answers. I started attracting different responses.
Right. And these people who are telling you to get a grip or to deal with it or whatnot, it may be a different thing. They may see what you're going through and go, yeah, that's hard, but I know where you're going. Think of it like basic training. It is going to be hard to get to a certain point. You know, learning to play the guitar as you're getting blister on your fingers. That means you're practicing. Eventually, they're going to grow calluses. Same thing with any new thing that you're trying or something that you're doing in life. You're going to grow those calluses, and you may need to get through the rough spot. You may have to deal with the basic training so you can grow stronger. So they may be going, yeah, I know, get a grip, just get through this, and it will take you somewhere else. And you won't see that because you're in the pit.
The pits of despair. The pit of despair. Yes, we both get a reference. So if you get our references, you can check us out on Twitter's at @success_freaks. You can find well, actually, you know what? We need to quit promoting that until we start actually putting something out on Twitter. We don't Twitter like we should. If you really want to find us, you can contact @gmail and we'll respond. Coming up next, we have the Level Up Your Life segment.
Throw out the Facebook page. I think that's a good place for people to go. Hey, these little screens where we flip back and forth, can they not see those little screens at the bottom?
I don't know. I think they can.
But that's why I'm doing that stuff. Okay. Otherwise, I'm just doing it for you and I'm being weird. Okay.
Okay. I'm like, what are you doing besides distracting me? Yeah, I thought you were playing with people as they came by or something. Like, stop it.
No, I'm actually. I think I'm playing with our audience, but it may be just you.
No, okay. As long as I understand what you're doing, I can prepare for it. I think they can, if they watch the video, I believe they can see the little boxes at the bottom. So, all right. So level up section, 10 minutes 49 seconds is on the clock. Are you ready, sir?
Okay. How's your internet? How's your internet? Because mine looks good, but you're coming through a little fuzzy, and some of your voices are a little weird. Are you good?
Yeah, everything's good
on your end.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I heard your phone die. It's like, oh, that had to irritate you. I'm sure.
All right, no, it's okay. You're just breaking up a little bit. It sounds like a Skype call. I'm like, what the hell? Trying to see if I have anything else open.
So, no, it's all good here.
Oh, okay. All right, we can do this. Ready?
All right. Yeah. I'm going to do marker time. Marker time. Marker time.
Did you do it? Because you broke up and I couldn't hear you. I could not hear you.
All right, reset. Yes, I did it.
Wow, you're breaking up a lot.
All right. I don't know what to tell you, man. All right.
All right.
Hey, you know what? We'll
take
a quick second. I reset the time. Give me a second here. Okay, this is really irritating me. I installed something today that was just supposed to be a cool little thing in the background, and of course it takes over my entire freaking browser. It makes everything stuff that I don't want. I hate people. Why can't you just make some? I'll even pay you $1 for it. Why can't you make some?
Success Freaks people.
Yeah, but they get it. If you're watching this video, you get it. Why can't you just make something and charge good money for it? Why do you have to give me something for free? That's awesome. It has to be Guardians of the Galaxy background thing that I wanted to go on. But every time, even CNET, even the big-time legitimate stuff, you download it from a site, and all of a sudden you have to make sure you're hitting no on everything because it's adding crap in the background, and it takes over your browser and makes you do stuff you don't want to do. It's like, what the hell, man? Why do you have to be that way? So I'm going to run a speed test real quick to give you an idea of what's
I'll
going
do the
on.
same too.
And, of course, Google was having problems when we tried to get started, so that's what I'm going to blame it on.
It might be just that, yeah.
But seriously, stop making software not charging for it if you're going to be a spammer ass.
Might be me.
All right, 17 down.
Okay.
Almost 18 down. And a little over 1.5 up. See, I'm my normal. It might,
Yeah,
like I
it
said,
might be
it
me.
could be
I'm
more.
looking at. Right. Oh, that jumped up a little bit. I got. Stop it.
So,
Is
if you're watching the video, we're trying to correct some of the technical issues that are going on. I don't know if there's any real correction that we can do here.
I got 418 down, and my upload is looking like 8, 9 something.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, 1053 up.
So, and then my thing is, then it's the thing in between us. It's the Googles.
Yep.
So, all right, we'll try this again. I got my clock reset to 10:49. You ready?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Marker time.
The show is Success Freaks, and the episode is All Things Great and Small. We're talking about those small steps that you take towards greatness. The fact that you shouldn't sweat the small stuff as well, the things that are biting at you, that are nipping at your heels, whatever that may be. Basically, it's all just no sweat. Don't sweat it. It's not a big deal. It's a lot of this stuff on Success Freaks that we talk about is all about your perception. If you're looking at like the universe is out to get you, or not, it's gonna be like that. It's gonna be an angry universe. If you look at it like a friendly universe that's helping you grow, you need to go through this and go through that. And you have to deal with this thing so that you can learn to do this, this, and this, so that you become the person you're supposed to be, and that takes effort. So take those small steps so that you can move forward, and don't look at it as a bad thing. Remember, you have the privilege of facing this challenge. You're being blessed by failure early on so that you can grow into the fantastic, awesome human being you're supposed to be. So change your mindset. You change your mind, you change your life. And make sure that when you're in the thick of things, don't wrap what's going on with you around you like a cloak so that that's the only thing people see. You're not your problems. You're the person who's supposed to become victorious and get over your problems. Put on your big boy panties. Let's move on.
So for
Charles?
those of you like me who just feel yelled at and dismissed right then, I would tell you, from going through a lot of stuff recently, stuff like that didn't help me. Knowing there's head knowledge and there's heart knowledge. Heart knowledge is what you live out of. But here's the choice you can make. You can, as Mort said, you can wrap yourself in your problem and let it define you. And some of us will make that choice for a little while. And it sometimes it's such a big problem. We've talked about small stuff, but I think small stuff turns into big stuff pretty quickly. And sometimes when we try to make big things small things, it creates more problems. So you can just embrace that there are things going on, and that's fine. Sometimes we take that overwhelming moment. It's in every fun little cartoon. It's that predictable moment of the character gets overwhelmed and they're like Popeyes underneath the pile of bad guys, and all of a sudden out of the pile he grabs the spinach, right? And then explodes up and da-da-da-da-da-da. Anyway, that's part of my inner monologue, people, that I share on other shows. So there you go. But you could do that. But here's the thing. Even when you're in the darkness, you always have to be talking to yourself. You have to ask yourself, do I want this life right now, what's going on? Or do I want something better? And that's where you have to be honest with yourself. Because if you're saying, I'm just going to stay here for a minute, I'm going to take my moment, That's fine. That's the life you're choosing. If you say, I really want to do something better, just knowing that, just looking out for something better will help you start crawling forward. No matter how many people want to help you, no matter how much good advice we can give here on the show, we're not you. Only you can prevent forest fires. I mean, only you can get yourself out of that situation. See, Morning, now you're just messing with me because you're stone-faced, you're not laughing. See, that was funny. I don't care who you are. That was freaking funny. People in their cars are swerving because they're laughing so hard, and you're just staring at the camera like you don't care. So that's my small stuff I'm sweating right now. Well, I can tell you, just choosing to want something better. You don't have to know what that is. If you just go, you know what, I don't want this anymore. I want something better. That will move you forward, and that will help you out. It won't fix everything, but it will get you going.
That's the thing. If you can start focusing on what you want, which is something that we still learned how to do, instead of what you don't want. I don't want this pain. I don't want this issue. I don't want this problem in my relationship. Well, what do you want? Let that be your conversation. And that little nuance will help you start getting out of whatever rut you're stuck in, whatever you're dealing with. If it's a debilitating disease or something like that, maybe that's just something you have to learn how to deal with. So what do you want? I want to have a body as healthy as possible right now, despite my situation, whatever that is. I want to have depression-free life. Start moving towards that. I want to be more positive in my life, whatever that is. Start moving towards that. Charles talked about head knowledge and heart knowledge, and I misunderstood him for a second, because then there's that hard knowledge. And that hard knowledge is actually going through it, actually learning how to deal with it. And you experience, you put everything together, your head and your heart knowledge, it becomes hard knowledge that you actually grow from. So it's up to you to change your inner monologue. It's up to you to change what you talk to other people about. What are you going to surround your life with? How do you do that? You take a breath and you take a step. One step at a time, whatever that small step is. You're throwing rocks at a tidal wave, who cares? You're building a dam. At least you're proactive in your own life. At least you're not a victim. You're not rolling over. At least you're in the ring and you're taking swings. You may be a 12-year-old kid swinging at Muhammad Ali. You're going to go down real fast, but you're going to grow. And people are going to see that. And you're going to have a different life experience. Then your life is about growing. It's about leveling up. It's about the struggle instead of just, the loss. Wouldn't you rather it be about the challenge? Wouldn't you rather have your, people say that about you and you be able to say it about yourself, your own self-esteem growing, instead of, hey, look, this is how my life sucks. Hey, look, this is my struggle. Hey, look, this is the challenge I'm facing and I am getting better at it. I'm leveling up my life. It may be the same issue, but you've changed your language. You changed your attitude. You changed your mind and you changed your life.
Yeah, it looks like you keep telling me thank you as you're talking.
Yeah, Simon.
Yeah, thank you.
It's an attitude of gratitude. Thank you for this. Thank you for these challenges. Thank you for these issues. Thank you for these things that I'm dealing with, because it's making me a better human being.
Yeah, I remember the hardest moment in the last year was the moment with my wife where she finally just broke down and was screaming and crying, and I was crying. I couldn't answer her anything. I said, I don't know why we're going through this. I don't know why, but ultimately we are. Ultimately things aren't working, but all we can do is focus on what we can try to do. And that's it. That was the ultimate answer, I think, for any deep, dark problem, is you can only focus on what you can do. Sometimes you'll never get the why. Sometimes you'll never understand what you're going through. Sometimes you'll look back and see you're stronger. Sometimes you won't. But the little things, this is where you sweat the little things. This is where Morna actually started from. And it threw me off. When I saw don't sweat the small stuff, I thought, I was like, well, of course you have to sweat the small. The small things are what starts big problems. But that's not what he was saying. He was just using that as a title reference. His actual show is All Things Great and Small, I believe is what you said. And that's how you get out of these little situations. I'm sorry. This is how you get out of those big situations, is one little thing at a time. The guy asked, Bobby asked if it was rude to say that. Well, it can be, but it also can be truth. It doesn't matter. I've had people yell at me in the meanest possible way, and the thing was, whatever they were addressing in a horrible way, it was truth. It was something I needed to deal with, and I needed to learn and become change. I needed to change whatever it was. Become better at what I did, or drop some of the crap that I was pulling, whatever. So, Morning, you don't ask me how I'm doing, Morning, because after every time you said you refrain from asking that, I've got it stored up. Well, this is my day, and it will be funny, but it'll be funny to me. So, where can they find us, sir? We are hitting the wall here. We do have On Beyond Success Freaks coming up, but we want you to know where you can find everything that we do.
Everything we do, you go to successfreaks.com. Any kind of social media that we do, you want to find us on Facebook, you want to find us on Twitter, you want to find us on YouTube, you want to find us on Google+, blah, 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 blah. Go to successfreaks.com, and you can find us through that. If you want to listen to this show and have it come to your iTunes, come to your iPod, go to iTunes. We're also there, Success Freaks, of course. Now, if you like what we do and you like the what we're putting out there, we now have a new thing where you can actually tell us thank you through Patreon.com.
I actually forgot
Why don't you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I did. I forgot that we just set that up. Patreon.com/Success Freaks. If you like what we do, you can be a patron of our art. We create content. You pledge whatever you want to pledge per episode, and you control it. So let's say you want to do $1 an episode, but you only want to do $2 this month. That's all you. We love you long time. It's all great. Every little bit helps. You can pledge any amount that you have. We have rewards there. Go to the page to check it out. We definitely have levels of rewards. We're planning on doing hangouts. We're planning on doing personal messages. Anything you need, anything you want, the level is there. And it's going to help us grow to become bigger, better, more, to reach more people and help them out. So think of it this way. If we've done something nice to help you, this is how you pay it forward, by supporting us so that we can go help others.
Right, and that's patreon.com.
Yes.
All right,
and
I think that's it.
Dang it. We ran out of time. We're going to have to touch it in the On Beyond Success Freaks, because somebody actually is paying it forward and sharing with their coworkers in their office space. And I want to say a big thank you to them. And I just slipped my mind till we ran out of time, but we are going to lead into On Beyond Success Freaks with this. So stay tuned for that. Mr. Mordant Mahan.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. As the man said, this is R. Mordant Mon.
And I'm the wait, I've got more stuff to throw into the show, Bear, and we're out of freaking time.
Ciao, Success Freaks. Boom, baby. We always got time for that.
Yes, you do. We actually came up 20 seconds short, but that's okay.
What?
It's hard to feel. I'm still counting down my clock here. So let me run.
Oh, really? I'm like 20 seconds, 30 seconds over.
I've got 210, so I don't know. We'll figure it out. Did you do 10:59?
No. It was at You're right. Is it 10:59 for this one?
10:49. Right. That's what I've written down.
Yeah, you're right. We're 20 seconds short. You're right. I was thinking 9:59.
Remember,
I do a stopwatch.
Yeah. I know you're going up. You just have to remember the time. So there's a post we were both tagged in. Let's see if I can't find it. You know the one I'm talking about, yeah?
Maybe. I don't recall it right now, but you're going to refresh my memory.
One of our female listeners tagged us both and said, how do I find the ones that I'm tagged in? Because it's not just on my page. Here it is. Evie Schaefer. This is it.
Okay,
yes,
I don't recall it.
All right. Well, you liked
you
it, so you at least looked at it. So let's hope Evie doesn't go watch the video.
It was great. I remember. Oh yeah, Evie Schaefer. Yeah. I'm hip.
All right. So I'll come in. I'll bring us in. I said, okay, this is what I left with, and I'll read it, and we'll say thank you. And then we've got 2 ways to go. We can talk about something I wrote down in the middle of the show, or we can talk about me getting the house, whichever way you would like to go. So I'll read the question. We'll make our comments, and then you'll kind of flip that coin and see which way you want to go. All right. So it's going to be 10 minutes on the clock, even. All right. Come on. Zoom out. Thank you. And then we'll do marker time. All right. So here we go. Sorry.
Nice.
Mm.
Stop, sexy man.
Sorry.
Oh, there it is.
All right, I think I'm done now. Ready? Marker time. Welcome to On Beyond Success Freaks, where we go bigger, badder, better, more into the topics of the show. This is episode 167. The follow-up to that is all things great and small. And we've talked about sweating the small stuff, don't sweat the small stuff. We've talked about starting forest fires. We've gone all over the place. But at the end, I remembered in this past week, we had a listener post on our Facebook page. Actually, she posted on her Facebook page and tagged us. So that's cool. We very much appreciate it. I'm going to call Evie S. We'll leave it at that. Miss Evie says, "Hi, Mordant, and a wonderful wet Wednesday from Illinois." So that's it. You know, I'm not going to read anymore because there was no "Hi, McFall," even though I tagged. It was just, "Oh, hi, Mordant." So, I'm not sorry. All right, here. Fine, Mordant. I'll read it. I had to write and let you know that either my coworkers are starting to come around to Success Freaks, or they're getting sick of me talking you and Charles up. I can't tell yet. A little background about myself. For the past 14 years, I have worked at a call center, first as a customer service rep, and now I am in the wonderful world of tech support. Have you turned it on and off again? Yes, that's right. I'm that woman on the other end of the phone that helps you when your smartphone won't cooperate with you. Anyway, I digress. Yesterday, we got an email at work asking us if we were excited about the day and why. This is my time to tell my coworkers how much Success Freaks has helped my outlook on my work, especially from your Labor Day show about leaning in. Having failed a few surveys last week, and this came at the perfect time. So, sorry that you failed some surveys. You probably should have been working, so listening to us. I don't know. I'm glad we could help. Here we go. And hoping at some point to hear something from management, even if it's just, wow, I finally listened to Success Freaks, and they were entertaining. Like Charles said in the podcast, I remember things when it's funny. So to you and Charles, I say thank you for the laughter. And I love that somebody took the time to write us, to tag us, and put their 2 cents in. So thank you, Evie, for sharing with your Avis and for sharing with us. Mordant loves it, don't you, Mordant? I love it.
I do. I really do.
He was sitting there all verklempt, waving his hands. He was so overwhelmed by the emotion. It's awesome.
Oh, yeah, that's awesome. Anybody else wants to write in or put a little message on our Facebook page and tell us that you're, what you're getting out of this, or that you're getting something out of this, or even if you disagree with us a little bit, there's a good chance we're going to read it, and it'll give us, it's great pod fodder. So go ahead and send us a message here or there. So it is On Beyond. We have a couple of things that we might want to talk about. You told me one, and I know what that one is, the second one. But why don't you, the first one, that's something that you wrote down what is that thing, that mystery thing that you wrote down?
You ask me most of the time when I'm upset, when I'm venting, when I'm passionate about something, why are you angry? What's hitting your buttons? What's pushing you? And I've noticed with people when they're uber passionate about something, and it's not always negative, it's not always positive. It's just sometimes it is. You're definitely passionate about people complaining all the time, and I have not actually heard you. I've not actually heard you tell me that somebody's bothered you, because I get it. If you say, if every time you called me and you just said, "Hey," I'm like, "Oh, boy, and people may feel about this way on the show. It's like, "Oh, I lost my job last year." Really? It's been a year, dude. You're still paying your bills. Shut up. I get it. Thank you. I'm just trying to tie into new audiences for those of you who write in and yell at me. But I don't. Maybe you don't tell me about the stories, but what is it that gets you so passionate about people complaining?
Well, it almost, you can feel them sucking your joy, feel them sucking your energy, and that's not fair to them, because they're, I'm responsible for my own emotions. I'm not, they don't make me feel something, they don't make me do anything. But especially if I'm at a festival, and I'm entertaining, I need to be up, I need to perform, I need to make people laugh, and a person comes up to me and they're like, "I haven't seen you in a year," and you lead with, "Hi, this is how my life sucks." It's like, okay, and then you keep talking about it, or I see them on numerous days, and they bring it up again. They're bringing this up again, or this ailment, or that ailment. It gets to a point where this is who I knew you to be, All you are is your pain and suffering, and we're all going through stuff. You know, they did a study where the difference between positive and negative people is not the amount of stuff that they're dealing with, because they deal with the same amount of stuff. It's how they perceive it, how they view it. So everybody's got issues. Everybody's got things that they're going through. I've got mine, not stays. You know, I'm training my brain that even on the worst of days, or, you know, let's say that like I'm performing in a downpour of rain, I make sure I'm happy. I make sure that I'm grateful. Or, you know, probably the worst allergy attack that I've ever had on stage, that for a whole day, I'm grateful for being able to perform. And it's something I've had to train myself to do. But if you come up and you're like, hey, I just want to tell you about my problem, and it's not so much a, hey, will you coach me? It's more of a, hey, I'm just sharing my problem because that's what I have and we can commiserate. It's like, you know, I want more than that. I want to give you what's great in your life. You know what? Make that be the first thing. Then you can lead into the undeny that part of your life. But this is me personally. You're right. Maybe it's my own issue. And you ask why this is such a bother to me. Maybe it's because when I was younger, and this is true, I had somebody say to me, man, you know, quit your complaining. That's all you ever do. You know, put on your big boy pants and move on. You're more than just that, because I was that guy in my early 20s. Well, this is happening, and I wanted people to feel sorry for me and to connect and have somebody tell me, go, you're right, your life does suck. But that doesn't help me grow. It doesn't help me move beyond it. So that's why it hits home, because it was such a thing for me as well, and something I have to be careful not to do anymore. There you go. There's my short answer.
That's good, because I found that the things I get angry about is the things I used to do. I just yelled at my son. And I got to tell you, kids will bring that out in you all of the time. If you don't have kids, become a Tortuga twin and get fans who just blow on you, because that's the only two ways in this world to grow is either have kids or be a Tortuga twin. That's Success Freaks right there in a nutshell. But you know, I was yelling at my son last night because they came in. They've been gone all day, all four kids, and they're telling me about their day, and they got to play with the neighbors and this and that and the other. And my youngest son, he tells stories so funny. I mean, he really is my junior. And he was saying, I went out the yard, I swing, whoo, and he does all the motions, and then he goes, and I don't know what, it's like, what? And somehow when I asked, what are you talking about, to the older two, my oldest daughter started talking about how they played baseball, as I guess they could, you know, what little they could in the yard that they had, and they played baseball, and Rylan got the hit and this and that, but she didn't get the hit because Oakland threw the ball and hit her in the foot and told her that was her last strike, and so he excluded her. And I don't know the setup to that. Before I even got angry, I said, did you do that? Because sometimes she won't tell the story absolutely right. She won't say that he threw it 50 times, and this is the time that he told her she can't play anymore. But he does have a very bad habit of trying to make rules and control everything, which before he was even born I dealt with, but I had that in my past. And once he confirmed that that's how it went, man, I lost it. I just gradually being like 5 seconds, I got louder and louder and louder, started yelling at him about helping others be awesome and how that's not fun. Because I realize it is so much still a part of my life of always being pushed down as a kid and always pushing others down, because that's what I knew. That's what I was told is the only way to get ahead is push others down. And to be that controlling person, I want a better life for him, and I'm trying to find a better way to tell him that. But in those human moments, I get angry because I still find myself going, I don't want to do that. I'm just not going to do that, and I'm going to tell you something else. And then I go, okay, no. So most of the time I go, okay, I'm going to fix that. Sometimes I don't, and the universe smacks me and goes, really? Don't you help others be awesome? Yes, I do, thank you. So we do yell about the things that come from our past, and I think just even saying stuff like that helps us realize where we need to go in the future. You know, I realize we're coming down on time. Did you have any last bits on it?
No, I think we covered it. It's, you know, no, I think we covered it. I think we got into it enough that a lot of the stuff that we're teaching, we teach because we need. A lot of the stuff that affects us or makes us angry is because it's actually our issue, and we don't like that reflected back on us. So if you realize that, it'll give you patience with these people. You know, and it's something that I need to remember too, and I try to do. It gives me patience with these people, and recommend with you as well, as you're taking your small steps. Be patient with yourself and with others.
You know, and just a little tidbit to the listeners. I used to be a super fearful person, so if I feel that there's a fear reaction more, it will tell you. I instantly, bam, what is that? And it's like, no, calm down. So anyway, that's us for the day. We want to thank you for coming along for the ride, staying longer than anticipated, and going with the On Beyond Success Freaks. I'm Charles McFall.
This is R. Mordant Mon. Don't forget, take a breath, take a step, and you'll be able to move forward into great things. Ciao, Dream Hunters. Haboom, baby.
Cool. Save. All right. So we need to do a teaser, you say?
Oh, yeah, good. Thanks for saying that before I stop it.
Oh,
I'm gonna do a marker.
I did a double recording. That's funny.
All right, I'm going to do a marker, and we'll start the teaser after that. All right, so I just did a marker.
All right. I set up another track, so that's what I'm going to do right now. All right. Yeah, we're both good there. Oh, this is waffle sandwiches? Pizza, waffle pizzas. Oh, I have to take a bite now.
Dude, I'm hungry. Let's go. Come on. I got to eat something.
Look. Here, take a bite. Take a bite. Mm-hmm. You know how many times I put off lunch for you, sir? That. That's interesting, babe.
Isn't that cool? How's it taste?
It tastes pretty good. I'll tell Morgan about it. He'll want to cook it. So she got this idea somebody had on Pinterest or wherever. She picked it on Facebook somewhere. That you had the canned biscuits. And how do you put it in there?
You cut the biscuits in half and you decorate the round part like a pizza.
All right. So you cut the biscuits in half. You decorate the round part like a pizza. Put the toppings and put the top on it. Then somebody put it in a waffle maker, but we have a sandwich maker. So she put it in the sandwich maker and did it. And it's kind of like making your own Hot Pockets. It's pretty good.
Nice.
There. All right. All right. So, oops, that's not what I wanted to do. I'll deal with you in a minute.
Chris. I'll deal with you in a minute.
Unmute. Okay. I am ready for the teaser. So the high points were your quotes. The question from the listener about is sweating the small stuff rude? Or don't sweat the small stuff. Saying don't sweat the small stuff rude. What else?
It was, all things great and small. Don't sweat the small stuff. Pick on your, I don't know. We'll figure it out.
And listener feedback in the On Beyond. Okay.
Right.
I am recording, so whenever you are ready.
All right. Welcome to Success Freaks number 167, All Things Great and Small.
Where we go around the world to find out, is it sweating the small stuff or not sweating the small stuff? Nothing? No? We can start over.
Helping you. Sorry. So you know what? Here's what's interesting is that I said this, and then I sat here, and then I'm hearing it in your thing. So it's taking a while to get to you. And then when you talk back to me, it's breaking up, so I'm really not sure what you're saying. So just go with that. Let me say something else.
Okay.
Let me think what it is what I'm going to say. Where we teach you to remember, take a breath, and take a step so that you can move on towards those great things in your life.
The listener question is saying don't sweat the small stuff rude?
And then Charles gets to the heart of the matter, reminding us what is it that makes you mad and why is it making you angry.
And stay tuned for Stay tuned for On Beyond Success Freak. Okay.
You can say it. 2 different recordings. Just say it.
Oh, I see. You're right. All this coming up next.
Because I should have said where Charles asked the question.
You want to re-say it?
Yeah. Where Charles asked the question, what are you mad at and why are you mad at it?
All right.
Is that good enough? Do you think we'll get something out of all that?
Yeah, we'll have to, because I think we're getting lost. It got bad there. It did. I don't have the delay, so to me, and this is Google. This has to be Google right in between us.
Right now, it's clear. Just now, you're the clearest you've been in a while, and I'm hearing you right away.
That's
just
weird.
Now. So
For the
let's
most part, is real time for you and I, even though there was some breaking up.
Yeah.
So Google's obviously fixing something on their end.
let's try it. Let's try it one more time. Ready?
All right, no. Give me a second. Start here. Nope, start here. Okay.
Welcome to Success Freaks number 167. All things great and small.
We're listener question it. The listener question is saying don't sweat the small stuff rude?
We talk to you where we teach you to breathe, take a step, and step your way towards greatness.
We get listener feedback in On Beyond Success Freaks.
Yeah, whatever is going on, I think
Okay.
the first cut was best. I started losing you again. You're fuzzy again. If you can use something
I
from
understand.
either of those, I just whatever.
Just hit stop.
I think we're done.
Stop.